right. Good afternoon, friends. This is Dennis Miracle. Today I'm going to be making a purse called the Natalie purse. It is a vertical oriented purse instead of the regular horizontal purses I make. This is the first one I've made in a vertical orientation, so it's good for a crossbody bag if you want to put straps on for a crossbody bag. So let me show you what you need. You need a zipper, which this is for the 6x10 hoop, so it's only going to be 6 inches across, so an 8 to 10 inch zipper should be fine. This one is much longer. I just buy 14 inch, I think is what I usually buy, so I'll have to cut some of this off, but that's okay. You need for the back panel, which you need to do first, make that and get that out of the way. You will need a piece of batting, a piece of whatever you're going to use for your backside fabric, cut 7x11. For your front of your purse, you will need whatever you're going to use for your main fabric. One piece of that at 7x11. You need 2 pieces of lining fabric cut 7x11. You need a piece of batting cut 7x11. And you need, if you want to make a crossbody bag and have the connectors, you need to make a couple, with a key ring, you need to make a couple connecting devices, and they have escaped. Let me see where they're at. Well, that's odd. I just made them and I've already lost them, but that's not hard to believe with me. But anyhow, they resemble this, except for I've made mine in orange. No, I didn't. I made them in blue. Here they are. They're right in front of me, and I can't even see them. And this is just grosgrain ribbon, cut 3 inches in length, with a key ring inside. Just fold this over, and I staple it at the top to keep it from coming apart when it's being sewn down. So I think that's all you need for the bags. Obviously you need, appropriate thread. And so I'm going to make, as I said, the back piece first. So I have put the hoop, I've hooped up my 6x10 hoop and put in stabilizer, and I'm going to run that first step. So let me do that and I'll be right back. All right, as you can see, the first step has been run. There are only 3 steps to the back piece. And so this was step 1, and just showing you where to put your fabric. So you need to take your first piece of batting, place it over the lines here, like this. Perfect. And then take whatever piece of fabric you're going to use as your main fabric for the back of your purse. Do the same with it, which I have done. And I'm going to give it a little shot of heat here to make sure it stays where it's supposed to. Okay. And then I'm going to put this back in the machine, and it's going to sew down these this piece of batting and this piece of fabric. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. All right, you can see the batting and the main piece of back fabric have been sewn down, and here's the problem. When it gets time to trim the purse, when you've put everything together and you're about finished, we have very little room left over here and a lot of room left over here. So at that point, I'm not going to be cutting anything off of this side here because that's about 1/4 of an inch to maybe a little bit more, 3/8. And I'll just trim maybe a, 1/2 inch off of here. And here I won't trim any either. But that, I wish that I would have paid attention and got this situated a little better in between the lines, but I didn't. But I'm going to go ahead with it. So we'll see. Anyhow, go ahead and put this back in for this step 3, which is the final step, and it's going to stitch for about 25 minutes and do the beautiful quilting. So let's do that, and I'll be back in a moment. All right, this took about 22 minutes to sew out at 1,000 stitches a minute on my Baby Lock Solaris. So just, I would say one thing, just don't do what I have done. Make sure you have your piece of fabric centered side to side and top to bottom, so you don't have this situation with so much over here and very little over here. So anyhow, I'm going to remove this from the hoop. I'm going to set it aside. I'll turn the camera off, and I'm going to actually take the stabilizer off. That's the only thing I'm going to do is take the stabilizer off, and which, as most of you who follow me know, I use paper towels, so it should come off very easily. I'm not going to cut anything. I'm not going to use my scissors at all at this point. So that's that. That's the back. We'll set it aside. And now I'll rehoop and load the front file, and we'll get started on it. Be right back. All right, you can see I've run the first step of the front fabric, the front of the bag, and you need to take your zipper and place it. There are 5 lines here, starting with the top line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I usually put 4. For some odd reason, I included this one right in the middle. But the ones you're interested in are 1 and 5. Assuming you have a number 3 nylon zipper, it should fit perfectly between lines 1 and 5. And you need to know, though, that lines 2 and 4 is where the stitching is going to occur. So if you're using some other kind of zipper, just know that that's you can gauge where to place your zipper by knowing that these are the lines 2 and 4 are where the actual stitching of the zipper, stitching it down where they will be. So use that to guide you. But anyhow, take your zipper and make sure the head of your zipper is to the left. And let's go ahead and tape down this zipper. I tape on both sides and right at the edge in the center. Okay. And since this is a 6x10 hoop, there's not much space on the sides to tape the zipper on this side particularly. So anyhow, stick this in your machine and do the next step, which will sew down the zipper. Be right back. All right, you can see the zipper has been sewn down, and next you need to turn your hoop over to the back and take one of your pieces of lining fabric. Here's mine, and place it face down. I keep knocking this thing. Place it face down, and you want the edge of the fabric to be right here on this 5th line. So put the edge of the fabric right at the 5th line down, and make sure you're okay on the sides. And tape this down. Okay, and then pick your, did I get this? Pick your hoop up and turn it over to the front, and take this piece of, let the lining fall over to the front, and take it and just tape it to your the frame of your hoop, because we need it to be out of the way for quite a number of steps. So that's what we need right there. Now take your front fabric and place it at the edge of the zipper, making sure you're okay on the sides. Okay. Well, no, that didn't work. Come on. All right, now that's not right. Okay, there we are. Now take this and put this in your machine, and the machine will sew down with a row of stitches right here, sewing the front fabric and the piece of lining fabric down. So go ahead and do that. All right, now I have, as you can see, the front is sewn down perfectly. Now take and turn over, and you can see that I'm trying to see, where is this? You can see that it has been sewn down also. So going back to the front of your purse, take your piece of batting and put it right underneath this line of sewing. Center it and pull your piece of fabric down over it. And I always take my iron because I like a nice crease. And just press this for a bit to make sure it lays down well. And there we are. Okay, now I'm going to put it back in the embroidery machine, and it's going to stitch just basically like a basting stitch all around the four sides here, right under the zipper coils here, right here where my finger is. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, now you can see where this has been stitched down on all four sides, and oh, I'm sorry, I had a phone ring. I had to pick that up. But you can see now that it's all sewn down, the main fabric and the batting. Now we're going to put it in the machine, and it's going to do the quilting, and this is another 24 minutes or so of quilting, of sewing. So I will come back to you when that's finished. All right, you can see now that the quilting is finished on the front of the design, and so the next thing we need to do is we need to take this piece of tape off that's holding the lining and let the lining fall to the back. And take off these pieces of tape on each side. Throw those away and pull the lining down nice and taut, and let me get it here in the camera if I can, and tape the lining down. Okay. Alrighty. And one other thing we want to do, we want to remove the stabilizer from the back of the zipper, which would be this. Remember, here's your first line, second line, third line. You would just cut a hole right here by this third line, and then just with paper towels, I just take my thumb and push it away and cut it here. Okay, alrighty, so that's what we wanted to do. So we've removed the liner, or removed the stabilizer, so let's put it back in our machine and run step number 6. Alrighty, what we want to do now is we want to remove this tape that originally held the zipper down. We want to open our zipper about 3/4 of the way, and I'm going to cut off this excess part here. And we want to take our little connector pieces and put them in about a 1/2 inch from the edge. And these lines that you can see right here at the top, I always line the top of my ring with these lines. I can basically know where the ring is, even though I can't see it. But tape that down, tape it along the top, and make sure you tape the metal piece down, because it will get out and get under your presser foot and make a mess. So where's the other one? Here it is. Okay. So doing the same thing here. About a 1/2 inch in. Tape it at the top. And then tape the metal piece. Okay. So that's taken care of. So our zipper's open. That's the main important thing. Now take the piece you made, the back piece, and put it right side facing down, and you can obviously see where the stitching is. Try to line your stitching up with the stitching that's already there. Just take your time and because you only get one chance at this without having to take it apart later. And I think this is going to make sure that you're fine at the bottom, you're fine at the sides, and make sure that you're also at least 1/4 of an inch over the top of the zipper, which we're way over, so that's not an issue. And go ahead and take a couple pieces of tape and tape this down somewhere along, maybe here. I'm going to do it at the top and the bottom. And put this in your machine, and it will stitch around all 4 sides, basically closing in the design. So anyhow, I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. All right, I think I did a pretty good job, because it basically traced, for the most part, the lines that were already there. So I think this has worked out okay. So let's turn over to the back of the hoop for the very last step, and we're going to take our last piece of lining fabric, placing it face down over the lining fabric that's already here, using that as a guide. And just make sure that you are, like I say, about 1/4 of an inch past the top line here. And as you can see, there's at least 1/4 of an inch beyond that. So take and tape this down, and this will be our last step before we take it out of the hoop and see what we've made. Alrighty, let's put it back in and run the last step, which is step number 8. Alright, our sewing has been completed. I'm going to remove this from the hoop. I like to check and make sure I don't have any, well, there's a piece of tape right there. I don't like tape attached when I put my hoops away, so Here's one piece, and let me push this through like that. Here's another piece and another piece, and I think that's it. All right, hoops are clean. Now, turn over to the lining side, and I'm going to go against what I usually do. I'm going to first start here, as I always do. I cut in at an angle, but I'm going to leave a good 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch. And I'm so happy to, as a Christmas gift, I got a set of Kai scissors, and they cut like going through butter. Okay. Well, all right. They are so nice. And so I'm leaving quite a large, okay, I'm leaving quite a large exterior side, but I think it'll be okay. And then cut right in like this. Okay. All right. And throw this all away because it served its purpose. And now take your, gosh, I hope that was on camera. I can't get used to this, having this oriented a different direction. Okay, pull back your 2 pieces of lining fabric and take your scissors and just cut. Now cut close here. Oh. All right, and throw that all away. And what do we got there? Okay, now we're going to reach in, and I've made this a pretty large hole so I can get my hand through here. But as a man, I don't think I have very large hands, but I can get my hand in there, and let's start turning this out. And we'll see how this goes. Okay. Okay, put my hand in there and push up through there. All right. Push that out. Push this out down here. Okay. Push that out there. Let me turn on my iron because I'm going to need it shortly. Okay. Now, what I like to do at this point, when my iron gets a little warmer, I'm going to just press it on both sides. And we don't have to worry, there are no vinyls in it, so it should be, just press it with the regular, without putting down a cloth or anything. So I'm waiting for this to warm up. And let me take a break for a second, hold on. All right, my iron has warmed up, so let me grab it and give this a bit of a press. Ooh, that's hot. Wow. Okay. Now, take your shorter piece of lining fabric and fold it in and give it a press. And then take the longer piece of fabric with these little notches here, fold it in, and push those notches to the side exterior. Push them over to each side. Okay, and then give it a little press, and now let's take this over to the sewing machine, because this gap between where my fingers are, we're going to sew that shut. So let me do that and I'll be right back. All right, go ahead and take your pair of scissors and let's get rid of these stray threads here from sewing. Okay, that looks good. And then let's open our zipper as far as we can get it. Okay, that looks to be about it. Reach in and try to pull that piece of tape out, because off of both sides, it did its job. It kept the grosgrain ribbon out, or kept the key ring out from the presser foot. So let's turn the bag out and see how it looks. Now, yesterday I made one of these and I had a disaster, so I'm hoping this one today, because I did the same thing. I did not allow enough space on the sides. I did the same thing I did today. However, I think I got this, paid more attention when I put the two pieces together. I think it's going to be okay. Looks okay on this side. Okay, let me see if I can push that out. Yeah, got that out. Push on this side over here. Pushing that out. Yeah, got that out. Okay, and the top here looks good. Take your fingers and turn the zipper in towards, just mold it with your fingers the way it should be. Yes, everything came out there well. Go ahead and shut your zipper. Well, that needs pushing open some, right? Let's push that a little bit. Okay. All right. Go ahead and shut your zipper and take your iron again. And let's give it a nice little press so it's okay. And let's look at the sides of this to make sure. Okay. So yesterday I had about 2 inches that was just hanging open here because it hadn't been caught in the last sewing around. And this looks beautiful. I'm very pleased with it. I was so disappointed yesterday in that. So this is the Natalie crossbody bag. I've got 42-inch straps for $5 a piece in quite a number of colors. If you need any, I don't know what the postage would be on that, probably a couple dollars. But so keep that in mind if you don't have any straps, if you'd like to make this purse. I think it's beautiful. I'm going to give this to a friend who supports the University of Florida, since that is their colors. And I just want to thank all of you for watching me again. Sometimes I feel like I'm muddling through this, even though I create the design. I'm, in essence, sewing this. Well, today was not the first time, but most of these designs I'm sewing for the first time. So you're going through it with me and seeing how things go. And I'm pleased with this. Very nice. So anyhow, and let me thank all the people who continue to support and encourage me. because without that I wouldn't continue to do this, because there's certainly almost no money in it, and I just do it honestly because I enjoy it. But I appreciate everything that people do for me, and I've got, I don't know how many designs that are waiting to be have tutorials made for them, and they'll be coming out just as soon as I can get them out. And so this is New Year's Eve. I hope that everyone will have a blessed holiday evening, be safe and healthy, and that we can all have a better new year. And I just thank you all so much, and have a good evening. Bye-bye.